Okay. So I'm just going to watch the first fight. We'll see where you're at, and then I'm going to start talking about things.
2, 1.
Drink a little more coffee.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay, so honestly, so far no complaints. I think you played that well. Your Lucio duo's a hard feeder. Holy shit, what was he doing? That was wild. Maybe your Lucio should drop a VOD sometime so we could help them out. Because they actually should have been hanging with you, speeding you around. Because, like, you do an insane amount of damage, and with a Lucio pocket to get in close and just run around the map, like, things would be so much easier. I do have a little bit for you off this first fight, though, and I'm just gonna...
Round 1.
Bird's eye view this to make it a little bit clearer. But basically, this would have been a little bit better if you were playing tighter to cover. So, you bubble your Lucio when he tries to feed, it's fine. But see this pillar right here? You could be hanging around this to get angles on these guys, etc. When you come over here, you play around this thing, which is great, but you also could, like, back out and play around here, right? And like I said, this pillar. So you spend a lot of time wandering around through open space, just sort of ignored by the enemy team, farming them. Which, don't get me wrong, you do a great job farming the enemy team because they just chose to ignore a Zarya walking through them. But, you will live so much better and do so much more just hugging tight to cover. I mean, really shoulder checking this cover. Tanks are especially bad about playing cover. Even Reinhardt needs to be playing cover because, like, you don't want to commit your extra health, your bubble, etc. unless you choose to. You don't want to be forced to do it, right? Like, shit happens, but the more we get to choose to use our own resources versus have to use them just to survive, the better. But, no, otherwise that was really good. We're just farming a grab here. This is great. So, yes, walk up here to bubble him, but you bubbled him too early. He's impervious to damage right now. Boom. You bubble him right now, and you save him from this jump, and he lives. And he gets out alive, and this monkey just jumped in ahead of his team onto a Lucio who could boop him off the edge, a Reaper who's going to tear through him, and a now high charge Zarya because you'll have bubbled this jump. Like, he's fucked, right? He's just going to die if he gets anything done at all. I mean, he dies anyway, so, like, cool. But, yeah, you just wanted to wait, like, 1 second. Just 1 second longer on that bubble, and you actually save your Reaper there. And this play is huge. As it is, it's good, but it's mostly good because this monkey is bad. I mean, it's low gold, right? You get to punish these people's mistakes a lot. Alright, we're playing cover, we're playing cover. Pop her bubble a little bit early. Good grab. Really good grab. Yeah? Here's why that was a good grab. You guys are down 2. The enemy team has respawns coming back. They're about to regroup. They could turn this fight. But you grab 2 people, make sure they die, hopefully, and you guys get to keep the point going, keep the staggers going. Like, that was good. That was a really good grab. But as it is, see how you're taking damage from the turret and this Moira? You're probably not going to kill the Moira who's calling. So you either get to cover and just break that turret. Your Mercy's fine, like, everyone else is fine and can just hide from this and you waste her time. Or you choose to fight her, but you fight her right here, where not only are you not going to take damage from this tracer or this turret or this random right click coming in or any of this other stuff, but if you're here, if the oh my god, the Moira, if the Moira chooses to fight you, she can't also be tasing your Lucio at the same time, right? You make space for your team by peeling the Moira off of them. Meanwhile, she's not going to kill you because you can just get around. You got your supports here. Like, you're good, right? So either pull her off your team or hide from her yourself. Right now, you're just allowing her to damage 2 people at once, and you're never going to kill her for it, right? So the grab was good, but then here we're a little bit sloppy. Oh shit, thanks for the prime sub, Chuggernaut. Hey Vax, how's it going? I haven't watched much Al, but it looks to me like Goats, but with DPS. Oh, it's so much faster than Goats. The problem with Goats was, it was a sustain comp. It was just impossible to kill anything. And so when you're evenly matched with that much sustain, it was just which side made the mistake first. And the other side would, like, they would run out of resources. You make a mistake with your resources first, you run out, the other side wins. Like, and now there is no sustain. I shouldn't say there's no sustain, but like sustain is incredibly hard because without an off tank, it's so much easier to take angles around a map. And it's so much harder to just entirely lock down a map. Goats, but people die? Yeah. Warming back into the shitty game? Well, welcome back. Goats is so fast, but so slow at the same time. It's like trying to get to work on a treadmill. Watch, I really like Egoist Cat's takes on how the Overwatch 2 meta plays. I think he breaks it down pretty well. And it's still... So, we've talked before about, like, the strengths and weaknesses of going first versus going second. So, like, in the case of Unhinged here, this is Zarya, going second would be sitting back and camping your backline, which you don't really have a backline to camp, so you wouldn't be playing that way, really, with this 6-person comp. But I digress. You would, camp your backline, let the monkey jump in on the backline, kill the monkey because he can't win and he won't get any picks jumping on a Zarya plus a support or whoever. And then you walk forward and you'd make your attack second, right? So you go second. And if you can absorb the initial attack, going second is inherently stronger. And that's kind of how the Overwatch 2 meta works, is who can bait the enemy team into committing to a position first. Because once you commit to a position, the enemy team can surround it easily because there isn't an off-tank preventing them from doing that. So you get them to commit. Once they commit, you surround that area and you kill them. And so it's a lot of making them think, like the mind games, make them think you committed when you didn't and you have an escape still and you can get out. So they commit on you, but ha! Tables are turned. Right, yeah. Enough of that shit. Let's get back into this. You had your projected there. Where? Wait, not yet, not yet. Still don't. So we can't save this guy. Or, sorry, we can't save our diva. Oh, I take it back. You just got the bubble back, and he broke LOS. I take it back. I'm sorry. I thought you had gotten it back a little bit sooner than that. You were probably looking for it. Whatever. In case you weren't, you do want to be using your bubbles to save people, but honestly, you say you're low gold, but I feel like this Lucio might be the one holding you back if they're a duo. You haven't been playing low gold, right? You've been playing, like, kind of mid-plat, honestly. Maybe there's some other big mistake. Like, this is still early in the game. There's gotta be a reason, right? Now we just got to get out alive with our energy. So, our Reaper tries to 1v6. Unlucky, low elo things. Right now, everything is fine. And then we see this, right? The enemy team has walled. Your team is grabbed. You can't damage the enemy team because this is a really good grab wall combo. You have two options. Option one, you walk all the way to here, and you try to kill these people, get them to turn around from your team, right? This is a hard commit. We're going to try to stay in and win this. Here's the thing. I don't think you should try to stay in and win this. They have barely capped the point. You're at 80%. They just committed 3 ultimates, right? They got 1 coming. So you guys have nothing right now, but you're halfway to 4 ults, right? So we don't commit to this fight. We just let the enemy team waste their ults, and we instead back to here, to this corner immediately. And once we see people start to die, fuck it, we out. If we start taking damage, then we pop our personal, but we get out alive with as much charge as we can. Yeah? We don't want to stagger, and we don't want to lose our energy. We just, at this point, want to build some ult charge for the next fight, yeah? This is a dry push, it's fine. So yeah, now we just need to already be out, but we're staying in. We pop our bubble, and we leave after the bubble breaks. And so we don't quite make it to the Mega, we don't get out. Yeah, it's not the worst, it's fine, but like, now our team just really needs to regroup. I'm definitely more confident in off-tank than main tank, but the former pigs felt easier in Overwatch 2 to me. Yeah, it's funny, because you're a main tank, but you need a position kind of like an off-tank in Overwatch 2. You don't want to play low, like, you don't want to play the middle. You don't want to play main very often. You want to start on an off angle and then brawl in main, but like you come in from an off angle. You don't walk in straight. You come in like, if this were the 5v5 fight in Overwatch 2, your main tank would probably be coming in from over here, so we could brawl from behind and split attention, and like, you're disruptors. Tanks are major disruptors. So you're setting up the engagement like a main tank would, but you want to be doing it from the side, from an off angle, and getting people so you can cause even more disruption, right? You're not just booping people around and being a big threat. You're also peeling them away from your team. Anyway. Huge grab. The EMP wasn't really needed after that, but whatever. That was a good grab. Yeah.
Check out this gun. See you later.
Your tracking really isn't bad. Like, you might want like slightly better tracking for Diamond, but mostly you want way better positioning for Diamond and recognizing when a fight is won or lost so you can get out on Zarya. And that's kind of the difference I see between you and Diamond. And I'm confused why we aren't high glow low plat right now. TBH. We commit to things a little bit too hard, but
This fight is not over. We still need you.
lobbing right clicks. So, be a hair more patient with your friendly bubbles because they're the best peel ability in the game. Right? They cleanse, nade, and like fire from dynamite, stuff like that. They block all CC. They block any amount of damage up to like, they have 200 HP, but, like, they'll block 1,000 HP bomb, like, right? And they make you more powerful on top of that. So, like, that's just bonus that they also make you stronger. They're the best peel ability in the game. Your Lucio is full HP. No one is looking at him. He's fine. If he was 2 bars right now and in this fight, sure. But he's good. So we wait. And then we see our baby diva about to die. And we bubble her instead so she can get back into mech. Right? And instead she dies. As it is, we win anyway. So, like, NBD, right? But that's one of those things that does make a difference some games. That's one of those things that adds up over time. Be just a little bit more patient with your projected. Make sure you're saving somebody with it. And especially in low elo like this, your teammates are feeding all of the time forever. Your problem is never going to be getting energy off of them. Your problem is going to be knowing who to save when, because, like, maybe your Lucio was 2 bars, but if you saved your Lucio, your diva dies. Or if you save your diva, maybe then right after your Mercy dies, because she hard... Like, everyone's going to be hard feeding all the time. So you can just wait, right? Wait until it's going to save somebody, bubble them, and save them. And this... Not only does it save that person, get you the energy anyway, and usually only like a second or 2 later, if that, as we saw here. It also serves the added benefit of the enemy team will tend to commit or try to commit on low HP targets, right? You see somebody who's low and you go, oh, I want to kill it. And everyone looks at that person and they will overcommit on them. Monkey will jump on somebody who's low, like that Reaper, right? That he killed. So you bubble them then. You bubble them when they're low. The enemy team commits on them. They don't get the kill because their bubble saves their life, and instead they die for it. You can force the enemy team to commit to things. Or bait them into committing to things, and then kill them instead, and play second that way, because of your bubble. Like I was talking about a minute ago, with how Overwatch 2, how you're just gonna have to play full stop, right? It's still strong in Overwatch 1. Like, it's fundamentally strong.
Score. 1.
I'm definitely more confident in... Oh, wait. I did that in my game, so I died a lot more and couldn't accomplish as much, especially when my DPS were...
Ready.
I mean, it's going to take some sussing out. Part of it is also, like, it was incredibly widespread of elo, because it was quick play, so, like, the games were just weird and messy.
Hey, break time's over. Let's
I can't wait until they add a competitive mode, which will hopefully be at launch. I really hope there's a competitive mode at launch. There better be, since Overwatch 1's ending.
5,
But,
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2.
you still gotta live, right? It's gonna be like... In a certain sense, every tank is Wrecking Ball now. You want to disrupt the enemy, do a drive-by. You disrupt them and get the fuck out whenever your team wants to rotate. So, like, the way, like, these guys are, like, walking in through open space to take space. You don't want them to get shot at by an enemy team that's already set up. So you roll through the enemy team on Wrecking Ball, right? And they turn to look at you, and with your massive health pool and your mobility, you get out alive. But that brief window where they were looking at you allowed your team to cross open space, right? And then when you want to engage on the fight, it's going to be about messing up the enemy positioning, knocking them into places they don't want to be or out of places they do want to be, getting them to turn to look at you to split resources apart, and also just straight up fragging. But, and this is the key, it's still about cycling your cooldowns, getting out alive and hitting them again, getting out alive and hitting them again. And all of the tanks now have cyclable cooldown. I mean, like, everyone has cyclable cooldowns. That's just sort of a thing. But they're all built around cycling your cooldowns, right? We'll go way, way, way deeper into Overwatch 2 when it's actually here and we can look at VODs. I don't know. When I tried to play more like a main tank, I inevitably failed. But when I tried to play like an off tank that was, when I positioned like an off tank but set up engagements like the main tank, I did better. If that makes sense. Like, you'd want to set up on the off angles like an off tank. So here we split apart. Woo! In a higher elo, you're already dead, right? Stuff like that gets you killed. I think that might be the big thing that's holding you back, is like, you don't get reliably punished for this mistake in this elo, but you will as you climb. Cover, and don't get cut off, yeah? By choosing to walk around this corner through the mini, you cut yourself off and almost died when all you had to do was walk right here and you're in cover and safe. You could be lobbing right clicks at this Cassidy, etc. Like, Tortu Ninja here is fucked already. He fucked up. But you need to be playing cover, right? And if you think about it, they have to touch the point, right? So if they're right here, if they push past you, they have to walk into open space, into your entire team, and into you and your damage, while no one on their team can shoot you. So they're taking a 1v3, 4, because you'd be here too, right? As soon as they walk around this corner. Alternately, you can be doing things like playing back and lobbing right clicks and paying back and lobbing right clicks. Because you don't have mobility, right? Your Lucio is now a BAP. So we're low energy, right? We're not ready to walk forward and brawl. So we play further back and we like bubble the teammates that are in front. We use our personal when we take damage or if we need to, and we keep backing up and lobbing right clicks, backing up and lobbing right clicks, and we're trying to bait them into overcommitting. And once they overextend into us, by then, hopefully we have high energy, and the enemy team is now overextended. So we then just switch courses, press W into them, and we kill them. They don't get the cap. Like, they probably won't get the cap. If they do, we'll flip it right back. It doesn't matter. But ebb and flow, right? We are not ready to brawl because we're 0 energy. So we play back and we 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 just build energy, and we bait them into open space. And once they're in open space and we have energy, we can W in, we can walk around cover still to try to get angles on their back line. Yeah, play cover, back up, don't get cut off. You need to value your life more highly than you are. That's probably the thing that's holding you back, right? Because a lot else about your play does not look bold to me. But the fact that you almost died right there, in a higher elo you would be dead, right? Which means your team loses this fight, which means, like, that shit adds up, right? It's a little bit better. Yeah, and we get out with energy. Good, good, good. That was a lot better. That was a lot better. And now we can punish their overextension, right? Because we got out a lot. Now our Junkrat's overextending, but whatever. Because now they're chasing him. Look at how much space that Junkrat made by getting chased. And then that projected was too early, right? If you had it right now. Yeah, I think you bubble primarily to get energy, and I want you to bubble primarily to peel. Primarily to save people who will die without your bubble. And you will get the energy anyway. In fact, you will get more energy. Because, like I said, people will commit on the low HP targets, but then your bubble's there. So you'll get, like, max value out of your bubbles a lot more often. Because we're only like 20 energy right now, right? We're trying to do good things, but we're a little bit of a wet noodle, so it makes it really hard, right? For your personal, and actually we just saw it right there, your shield health regens on its own after 3 seconds of not taking damage. Your bubble lasts 2. So if you lose your shield health and your below half health, they're more likely to commit on you and throw more damage at you. You then pop your personal while backing out to cover. Your personal eats that damage, and then about a second after your personal ends, this health starts regenning on its own anyway. And since you're already around cover, you only have to wait a second, your health comes back, and then you can peek again and start doing stuff, right? So look for this crack on the side of your screen. Boom. That crack effect, that happens when you lose your shield health. That crack effect is your cue to pop your personal. Obviously, there's some nuance to that. Like, I don't want you to think that's a universal hard, fast rule, but, like, that's... probably a better starting point than how you're using it right now, yeah? Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, your tracking is fine. You overcommit sometimes. You don't play cover enough. And you're not using your bubbles to peel effectively, right? And like bubble timing just generally could use a little bit of work. Even when you are using it to peel or whatever. You know, you can be a little bit more patient with your bubbles. And you will get the energy anyway, right? It can be... I feel for you because like in low elo, downtime feels so bad to people. It feels awful. It feels like I'm not doing anything. Like you even seem to think that you didn't do a lot in this game. You did. Patience, right? You will get the energy anyway, and you'll likely get more energy sooner. Even though you're waiting longer to pop your bubbles and you're not like, oh no, I'm 0 energy, I'm not doing anything, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Okay, now one of my feeding teammates is critical. I pop bubble on them. Now I have energy. Boom, they knock my shields off. I pop personal bop around a corner. Now I'm like 70, 80 energy. Next set of bubbles, I could press W and actually kill things.